One of the ways to stop narcissists from entering into your life is to stop giving out automatic credibility. Automatic credibility is often given to people based on their relationships or connections to you. Automatic credibility is often given out to people based on their position in this world. Credibility is often given out to people's status in this world. But how many of you are aware that many narcissists hide under the cover of very shallow relationships and connections that look good? Many narcissists hide under the cover of their position in life. Many narcissists and abusive people hide under the cover of their status in life. And once you realize this and you stop giving automatic credibility to people, you'll be a whole lot safer and less vulnerable. My name is Kevin and this is The Royal We. Before I continue, I want to let you know that I'm here for your support. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments. In addition to that, I do have a brand new life coaching program. For an entire month, I'm teaching every day, Monday through Friday, with a live chat, and it's only $49. You cannot afford to miss out on this, especially those of you who are trying to start a brand new life. Now, we're talking about stopping giving out automatic credibility. Automatic credibility is something that we do without even realizing it. It falls under the category of trusting other people, overly trusting other people, naively trusting other people. Oftentimes it means that we are rolling out credibility to people that we've never met. We don't know anything about their personal life, who they are, yet maybe we make an automatic connection or we apply automatic credibility to them for typically one of three reasons. As I said, perhaps it's because of relationships or connections. How many of you, myself included, have automatically given credit to people because they were a cousin of a friend of a cousin? In my case, it was in-laws. I gave my in-laws credibility simply because they were connected to my wife as a half-sister. How many of you have given credibility to a cousin or to an uncle only to find out later in life at some point that they were horrible? And by the way, this is nothing new. This is not something that you're just experiencing now. It's not something that I've just experienced. This has been going on since the beginning of time. There's a story in the Bible, story of Jacob. Jacob ran from his brother Esau because he took the birthright. His mother sent him to stay with his uncle Laban. And in the beginning, it seemed like Laban was an okay dude. Jacob married Laban's two daughters. Come to find out later on, Laban wanted to kill him. He was a murderer in his heart, secretly. Not only that, we find out that Laban, his uncle, cheated Jacob out of his money, mistreated him, made him work out in the heat, didn't offer him shade, barely let him rest, treated him horribly. That was really the type of person Laban was, but he was given instant credibility by Jacob, by Jacob's mother. Why? Because he was an uncle. Listen, some of the most atrocious traumas happen to people based on automatic credibility of relationships. Most molestations happen within cousins or siblings or uncles or aunts and all this crazy stuff. We live in a world where we can no longer just automatically apply credibility. It also falls into the category of believing the best in people, giving people the benefit of the doubt. This is what it looks like when you offer credibility to people based on relationships or connections, based on who they know. This right here is a trap that will land you into narcissistic abuse if you are not careful. I'm gonna sit in the shade over here. Whew, because it's hot. The other automatic credibility that we often give to people happens to be position in life. How many of you, myself included, have automatically given credibility to bosses, to co-workers, simply because they're managers, or they're this, or they're that, or they're owners, so you think they're decent people, right? Wrong. Once again, many narcissists are excellent at their jobs, excellent at climbing the corporate ladder. but not so excellent when it comes to their relationships and how they treat other people. You cannot apply credibility simply because of their position in life, simply because they own a business, simply because they're an entrepreneur, simply because they're a pilot, simply because they're a firefighter, simply because they're a police officer. These are typically types of professions. Simply because they're a doctor, we look at people in their professions and we automatically assume, well, they're credible people because they're this or they're that. Wrong. This doesn't mean they're any less abusive than a person who is a thief. That's right. There are firefighters and there are police officers that are just as shady and just as shallow as thieves. And this is something that you have to understand. It's not saying that they all are, it's just saying that it exists. The truth is, the reality is you cannot just offer credibility to people. Or how about their status? They have the status of president. They have the status of whatever. They're a pillar in the community. That status does not mean that they are not abusive people. So again, this all comes down to stopping giving out automatic credibility based on relationship connections, based on position, based on status. What do we do instead going forward? Instead, only apply credibility when you get to know somebody. Don't meet and give someone credibility because they know your brother or whatever. Only become vulnerable over a long period of time, slowly, with people who you start to observe, you start to connect with, you start to resonate with, you start to form an observable assessment of who they are. That has nothing to do with what you've heard about them or what you've seen about them only, but how you've gotten closely and connected with them and have talked with them. This is the only way to weed out in your future good people from bad people. This is the only way to start to see the narcissists from people who have empathy. This is the only way to see people who are out for themselves and people who can genuinely care for you. You can't do that by giving out automatic credibility. Anytime you meet somebody new, doesn't matter who they're connected to, doesn't matter what side of the family they're on, doesn't matter if they're a sibling, brother, aunt, uncle, it does not matter. You have the duty and the burden in this life to withhold your vulnerabilities, to withhold any damning information there is about you, to withhold things that can be used against you. We should not be out there just blabbering and giving up and coughing up and becoming vulnerable and intimate with anybody, simply because, again, of their relationship connections, their position in life, or their status. This one thing is something that we need to understand, all right? No more automatic credibility. That's going to bust us up and leave us hurting, all right? Listen, I want to thank you for your support. Continue to watch The Royal We. Like I said, I'm here for one-on-one conversations down in the description box. I do have a month-long program for only $49 where I'm teaching every single day. Check the link down below and get involved. Now, until I'm back, watch this video right here because this video has been recommended by YouTube. I think it's gonna be a good video for you to watch. They recommend it, and if they recommend it, I'm gonna stand by that recommendation. So watch this video, and I'll be back right here on The Royal We.